Hello. My name is Mustafa Alismail, and I'm gonna read a piece called LiBeirut, which is set in the earlier days of the Lebanese Civil War. LiBeirut. The sky was clear, and the stars flickered brightly. Wind snaked through my hair, and I basked in the calm. A few hours ago, things were not so. A fight between two men broke out in our cafe. Like most things these days, it was over the war. I wasn't there, and I don't need to ask for details. One man liked the group, the other preferred another. They argued. Unlike football sectarianism, hunches felt needed. I arrived as mom, bamboo stick in hand, told both men to take it elsewhere or she'd smash their bones. My one-legged uncle mumbled insults at the two from his chair on the far end of the cafe, while my lanky older brother watched from behind the storeroom's door. They left promptly. People returned to their tea and backgammon games. Mom turned to me, producing a broom from God knows where. Here, Summer, clean this mess. Coals from the kicked-down hookah almost burned my palms. Around here, at our cafe, showered in hookah and cigarette smoke, between sips of oversweetened black tea or bitter Turkish coffee, men argued loudly and passionately. What should be done? Who is at fault? Which group is made up of criminals and which are righteous and saintly? Is there a point to the army? And it goes on. No one started firing up weapons, let alone organized a militia. It was, in unspoken terms, deemed unnecessary to get more involved beyond casual spectatorship. Recently, tensions are high, however, and the arguments are becoming more likely to turn physical. Dad would have probably pulled out his rifle at the sign of any disturbance, but he left for Aleppo 2 days ago, said he's visiting a cousin. I suspect he's setting up our move. Maybe we'll stay in Syria for a bit, save up, and live somewhere far away and safe. I'm pulled back to my room, forgetting that Mom no longer has the time to check whether I've gone to bed or not, and I'm too old in any case. There's a poster of the Eiffel Tower on my bedroom wall. Rania gave it to me a few months ago. I'll take you there one day, she said. We'll go all the way to the tip and take a picture with all of Paris behind us. I don't think the elevator goes to the very top. She grinned in defiance. We'll climb the steel beams if we have to. I'm getting that picture. I gazed back to the heavens and listened for whispers in the breeze. As they stand now, things are calm around my neighborhood. As far as being in a civil war goes, we've been fortunate. People forget that fighting occurs in pockets. Not everyone is actually dying everywhere. In some areas, life can even be described as normal, considering. Light began to fill the sky, and off to school I went. During the day, I wandered between Feynman's universe and Scheherazad's tales, occasionally drifting back to check if the day was done. The blackboard kept being filled and wiped clean. The person in front of it swished a few times, and the air remained unchanged. I was about to drift away from our round-shaped geography teacher, who continued to bellow at us from behind his bushy mustache, when a scrunched-up piece of paper landed in my lap, immediately flowering open. Oof, 5. She was already there when I arrived, snuck off somehow before I asked to go to the restroom. The wind ruffled her dark hair as she stared intently at her wristwatch. I made sure to reposition Sebaway's Kitab, a copy that the school librarian has been searching for since the 60s, which kept the roof's door unlocked. 9 minutes. Your watch is always 4 minutes ahead. Doesn't matter. I looked at it before. She lifted her head to meet my eyes, a look of mock disappointment in hers. 9 minutes. You're getting worse. Didn't kill you to wait. I'll be the judge of that. Give me. From my backpack, I pulled out both the cigarettes as well as the treasure Rania wanted back, a very used copy of Aulad Haratna that she lent me a month ago. She leafed through the book with her right hand as she lit up with her left. So what did you think? I didn't get around to reading it. Maybe I'll borrow it again some other time. Without a change in expression or tone, she threw it at me. Bring it back when you've read it. This day won't end, I said, attempting to change the subject as I stuffed the book back in my bag, my embarrassed face wanting to follow. Tell me about it. Woke up at 4, not sure who, but one of the neighbors decided I'd be good to play music that early. That bastard's ruining Uncle Thum for me. Really? I'm glad I couldn't hear it, though I didn't really sleep last night. Let's do something tonight. How about it? We can sneak into Abu Mazen's vineyard. Yasser tells me he can see missiles with his binoculars over there, like shooting stars, he says. He's lying. There's no fighting nearby, no way he'd see anything. We would have heard it. I guess so. We should go, though. Sure. Hey, did you know his family moved away? Brazil, I think. We talked about it last month. I don't know Spanish, he complained to me. They speak Portuguese, I replied. Same difference, he retorted. You can learn. I know some French. Why can't we go to France? I don't think the one semester of French you spent half of us leave will do you much good. He tried to hide it, but I saw his eyes well up. Rania took a deep drag. I wonder where we'll go. If we're moving, we should instruct our parents to move together. Many families immigrated. Most are too poor, though. Some are simply too stubborn. A few are delusional enough to believe no harm will touch them. I wanted to leave. To my knowledge, Mom and Dad never discussed plans to, and I'd say Mom would fall under the too stubborn category. My suspicions regarding Aleppo still stood, however. Maybe, I don't know, I finally sighed. If Dad says no, I'll have a talk with Mama Noor and she'll settle it. Oh God. She took the roof as her stage and began to perform for the admiring, non-existent audience. Mama Noor, ya Hayati, your radiance is astounding. What sun and what moon. They should be ashamed. Oh, speaking of shame, you won't believe what your son said today. No, you can't keep using your grandmother that way. A believable puzzled look leapt off her face. Why not? She said, following it with a knowing smile. I dropped my cigarette stump to the ground to join its many older sisters and began massaging it with my shoe. You're definitely going to hell. We all are. I'll just arrive in the back for rolls. Look, let's just leave. I'll go to Yasser's binoculars. I'll go get Yasser's binoculars. You swing by Armour's. We'll meet by the creek south of the vineyard, okay? Just make sure you don't bring him. I promise I won't, she shouted as she left out the door, almost kicking away poor Sabaway and locking me up on the roof till the next morning. I stopped at Armour's little newsagent shop, though he sells more sweets and smokes than newspapers. The shop had space for a 4-meter-long termite-ridden wooden counter, which looked like it had an earlier life of being a cheap dinner table. An icebox sat at the far end of the shop, though most times water box is more apt. Atop the steps leading to the shop were stacks of newspapers, each with a brick on top. Quite a few were from weeks ago. Armour, the middle-aged and skeletal owner, sat behind the counter, a cigar between his scarred lips, a box of various brands of cigarettes to his right, another filled with random sweets to his left. The barely functioning radio always alternated between Abdul Halim and static noise. Behind his sweaty mess of a human hung a frameless picture of Jamal Abdel Nasser. Its color faded like the man himself, or the ghost of pan-Arab nationalism he birthed and whose time has passed, despite the many who still cling to it. Amar's love for Nasser is only rivaled by his enthusiasm for the Nicaraguan cigars he sells, which are housed in a black and red striped cardboard box with his counter labeled for the Sandinistas. Usually, I grab 2 bottles of Coke from the icebox and request a pack of Reds for my dad, and he'll hand me the Marlboros silently. Last time, however, he snapped, "Your dad? He already bought 2 today. I know you smoke them, you Sousa. Don't make me tell him next time." He said that while pushing the pack to my palm, counting the money, and sliding it in his breast pocket. This time I played it safe. I inched towards the cigars, picked one up, wrapped in thin paper its aroma selling my nostrils. It gestures to Armour, tilting my head. "One for the Sandinistas?" He erupted in a fit of coughing and laughter while murmuring, good girl," as he bagged my paw of sweets, water-cooled Coke, and the Nicaraguan cigar I share with Rania. He paused with the cigar between his fingers, and I worried he'll press me over who will be smoking it. Instead, he ruminated. "You know, this batch was rolled by the hands of a martyr. You can't put a price on the blessed work for fighter. He died fighting in Costa Rica, I believe. Thought those were Nicaraguan." The struggle is the struggle. You never know where it'll take you. That'll be 5,000 liras. I paid and quickly dashed off, sensing that he might go into a spontaneous epic poem of the FSLN's exploits against the Contras. To reach the vineyard, you'd have to walk up the hills to the east. After climbing them, past a Maronite cemetery and a stretched citrus grove, you'll find the creek running northward. And although you'd only be a few paces away from the hole in Abu Mazen's wire fence, you wouldn't crawl into it before pausing, turning west, and taking in the view. Before you, the entire town, the Mediterranean in all its sagacity beyond it. Behind you, in the distance, ancient mountains covered in proud cedars that seem just as ancient. The spirit of the earth touches you, and you are left with an inexpressible understanding why people die for this land. Of late, I drift into it more often, walking back home from school, stopping the moment I hear it, missiles whining above, increasing streaks of grey quickly turning the pale blue dome into ash. Buildings crumble, light up, screams sound, armed men emerge, and her voice quivers. My city shut off her lamp, shut up her door, remained at night alone, alone and dark. In blood, mine and others I awoke, the sun swelters above, my back is propped against the mosque's walls, not sure how I got here. I can see my school in the distance all aflame, smoke stinging my eyes. I don't hear screams, but I can almost make out a song. Boots approach, so I try to play dead, but the body betrays. Lungs gasp for air, the boots stop before me. I lift up my head with excruciating pain to see a figure in green fatigues. The green fatigues of any army, the green fatigues that are stained with the blood of the innocent and the guilty, the green fatigues that were sewn and patched by mothers for their sons to venture off and kill their brothers. I look to his face, the sun behind obscures his features. I don't know to which militia he belongs. I don't know in which neighborhood he grew, to which mosque or church, if any, he went. I can't know the face of the man who will end me, but I lift my eyes to where his should be. I let him see the fear, the anger, and the loathing that I pray will haunt him for the rest of his days. I despise him for inspiring hate in my heart. Beirut, from her people's soul, she's a wine. From their sweat, she is bread and jasmine. So how did she come to taste of fire and smoke? I return, the opening in Abu Mazen's fence, staring, beckoning me, comforting me. The sky's still blue, so I crawl through.